family properties. And we are desirous to have
Your name?
Jane Kinsel, I'm sorry, K-I-N-S-E-L. And we are desirous of having the zoning go down to 10. I love the presentations, and we say, oh, we love these open places, but why is the rest of the valley able to develop? And this is left. Everybody that lives outside of Wasatch County was in some of these look at the red ledges, you know? And I kind of feel that there's a lot of prejudice against landowners in the Northfields. There are property rights, there are things that we have to do. And again, in my first remarks that I ever had was, we've got to separate the fact from the fiction. And Doug says, you know, we pound all these things and we have all these acres. It cannot, at this point, even with 10 acres, be built up in a high-dense area. If you take it back, you can't get a permission to go in a wetland and dig a trench. The A20, the A agriculture zoning does not allow for that. In order to build a house or build a residence out there, you have to meet. It's in the code there. There's so many things. Perk test, this test, this test. If you are inside property, it's very unlikely that you would be able to build anything there because the county, you'd have to provide all kinds of things. The density was not what it appears to be. A 10-acre lot, and I repeat again, go from Midway Lane, the light at Midway on First South and over to Center Street. That's one block. Go down 2.5 blocks past the thrift store, down to the next, and then another half block. That's 10 acres. Imagine one house on that much. I think it's a win-win for all of us. It gives us still lots of open space. It protects those of us with property rights and those who have lots of records that would like specifically for families. Did you give me some? And so this shoot-all is one size fits all isn't it. It's kind of scary, but we have to sort out the facts from the emotions of this. And the beauty of the open space of the valley is now being borne by those of us who have property in the North Field. Who makes those lands nice and green? Who irrigates them? Who feeds the cattle that's down there? Who keeps them the grass and makes it all nice? It's the property owners. It's not the people who look. Yes, we all want it, but a 10-acre is not going to hurt that so much as it appears without a lot of the facts.
Yes, please.
My name is Laurel North, as in Northfields. Some of you heard my son last week. Our family was forced to leave Soldier Hollow and move over here to the beautiful lands that we own over here because a dam went in and a railroad went through the house that my husband was born in. So we've been here a long time, not me because I married into it, but our family has, and we've kept working this land what we could, what the sisters didn't take. But we have a right to do something with it. I'm a little bit amazed that they won't let us do anything with it unless we've got 20 acres. When to the west of me, this last summer, up comes a racetrack for motorcycles. Round and round and round we go. I don't know how that got in there. They took up a whole field of pasture land out. Motorcycles running around it. Anyway, some people can get by with whatever, some way. I think 10 acres would be a wonderful thing because there's so much wetland down there. You could never build on it, but those that could be built on, could be built on. There's no way you can do the septic tank and do that perk test. My son and I were for 4 years water master of the Northfields. There's a lot of wetlands there. There's places you will not be able to build, but you can pasture around it. And I feel like that we ought to be given the privilege, because I don't think that it will overrun it. I don't think you can build enough in there, that those who could build a few places. I've got 50 acres, but there's only 2 places on the place you could build a home. So I would urge you to go with us and help us to be able to do a little bit with some of it, and to give us the opportunity to show you that we can make it beautiful and not put the raceway in the middle of it.
My name's Annie McMullen, 35-year resident of Heber Valley. Thanks for allowing people to come up and give you public comments. I know many of you. And many of you know I have a great passion for the open space. People were talking about the 2020, Heber 2020. I'd like to just tell you that the whole open space kind of movement began with the county commission back in about the year 2000. Lorraine Provost and I met with the Trust for Public Lands, took them around. They said that there was opportunity for funding if we got a local program together. County commission, before they turned into county council, earmarked about $5,000 for an open space program study, which the county council moved forward, and we did public hearings, public planning charrettes. That was in, I think it was 2002 to 2004. Everything that came out of that was that the Northfields were an area that people had great passion about and wanted to preserve. County council then formed a committee about 10 years ago. I was part of that committee along with George Hansen, Steve Farrell, quite a few people. 18 months out of that came an ordinance that was adopted by the county council. And I've heard that ordinance has been a failure. And I would want to argue against that and say that was only the beginning, that the only failure that happened out of that was that the county council didn't continue to run with that. The ordinance got in place and then was kind of put on the back burner. Economy crashed. Really no program could work. We had TDRs in place, sending area, no formal receiving area, but still identified was the Northfields, was critical open space to all of the people here. And I think that a lot of landowners think, oh, open space, we're taking the burden of open space. But there's so many different things that you can do. There's a bundle of rights. There's, as was talked about before, bonding to start a great program. There's sales tax revenue. There's so many different things that could be done. And so I urge people to not think of that as negative. I would like to say that right now I don't think that there is a demand for upzoning. We know that there's approximately 3,000 acres. There's so many of those grandfathered in, non-conforming lots of record, and people aren't jonesing to build on those. I mean, we're not seeing people build. In 10 years, what have we seen? The big barn. There was a new building built this summer, and then Gifford Hickey. Other than that, all of those non-conforming lots of record, nobody's built on them. So to upzone and put 90 more ERUs is like not great. I would urge you to vote no. I don't see that it's really critical to do that at this time. Thanks.
Yes, here in the back.
Hi, I'm Tuck Lowe from Heber, and the last time I came before a council involving subdividing vacant land. The council's reason for doing it was because, and I quote, well, it sounds like a waste of space. And I just hope that in 2014 that is not also this council's view on open land.
Todd?
My name is Todd Cates. I'm with Red Ledges, and I think you've got a tough decision to make here. There's definitely a balance between landowners' rights and what's best for the community as a whole, and I don't know how to exactly balance that out. I think most people here probably don't really have an idea of what the best thing is for this area and what the real impact would be if the zone is changed. And it may sound strange coming from somebody who's developing a lot of land, but I do feel, as Ryan suggested, that this is one of the crown jewels of the valley, and it is an attraction, not only from a tourist standpoint, but also from a homeowner standpoint, and people coming in and purchasing new homes within the area. I think if it were up to me, I'd try and develop all the hill area and mountain area around the valley, and leave the valley as it is, if we had to develop some areas. I think when it comes to transfer development rights, I don't know all the details on what's being proposed on that. I'd like to hear more about it. It strikes me at first blush that it's not the best way to do this. I don't have any plans from a company perspective to develop other land here in the area, but it occurs to me that a transfer of development rights is almost a socialistic way of doing things, in that we're taking from one group and giving it to the community as a whole. I think if we were to decide that this was an area that we wanted to save and we want to help out the landowners because they do have rights, then maybe some bonding or something along those lines would make more sense, where everybody in the community pitches in and does something to save something that we think is a crown jewel for the area. I know that in many areas bonding has been very successful in saving land and in saving areas, but at the same time compensating landowners for what they own and for the rights that they have. So that would be my initial blush without knowing all of the details. Thank you.